Hello, welcome to H Capital with me, Balqis. So today we are at Garden Craft with our ceramicist, Mr. Tusan, and also our guest, Izzati, and we are going to learn how to do pottery. Let's go. I think we did quite alright for our first time, right, Izzati?
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you guys back at the studio. Hello everyone, welcome to H Capital with me, Balqis. So this week we are discussing on how to charm your way into a new job. With me, our guest is Siti Dhamirah Izzati. She is the founder of Career Clinic. So tell us a little bit about Career Clinic.
Okay, Career Clinic is our small initiative that we started since 2018. It's actually to help empower our fresh graduate locally, and then we help them in terms of resume review, preparation for the interview, and job search strategy.
Oh, that's
so
good.
basically, we will provide some talks, but since pandemic, so we changed the game. We follow the trend.
Yeah.
We changed the game into virtual webinar.
Oh.
Since we have, I think, support from the educational institution, they also invited us for some of their events, internal events. So something like that. So we have internal events. We also have external events.
Oh, that sounds like a good initiative.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, for the viewers out there, how can they make their resume stand out compared to other applicants?
I guess the key is personalized. This is something that people take it for granted because it takes more time consuming for them to prepare the resume, the cover letter, and so on. But I guess this is the key to the employer's heart actually. So when you take your time to prepare the personalized resume, you match it with the job description of the vacancy, and then you also include the personalized cover letter, it will be perfect, I think for stand out.
It's good also if they kind of include keywords from the job posting.
Yes,
that would
exactly.
be an advantage for them.
Yeah, correct.
And do they need to research the culture? Is that important? Research the company?
I guess this is also something very important as well, because before you got the job, it's all about the company. But after you got the job, you have to make a deal that benefit to them now.
Yeah.
Of course.
True.
So it should be very fair deal.
True.
So first you have to take some time to learn about the culture, study about their mission, vision, their products and services, something like that. So you can learn to see whether you are suitable for that position in the company.
True.
And then you see how
it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they do get selected, before the interview, how should they prepare? Like, what can they do to kind of prepare themselves for? Because it is quite nerve-wracking to go for an interview. So what is the tips that you can give us?
Continuing with the point just now about the research the company, and then I guess another thing that you have to
think about
is learn about yourself, learn about your strengths and your skills. And that's one thing that I want to emphasize here is about their mindset before they attend the interview.
True.
you have to come into the interview session with the right mindset. I think that there's one article, but it mentions something like this. I know it's not easy, but let's try to learn it one step at a time. So it mentioned about when you usually people will feel nervous when they want to go to interview because they think that this is the employer, this is you. But when you try to see it
from
almost the same level,
Yeah.
you just want to have some conversation, just to have the deal, then you will never
Go wrong.
Yeah, and then at the same time, I don't want the candidates to put themselves down to
Because at the
lower
end
them
of the
down.
day, the company is just trying to find someone who fit their culture. So the company, need you as much as you need us, right?
Yes.
And I think for me, the best way to prepare for an interview is you got to make sure that you practice. Like
Yes.
if you are nervous, like for example, for me, I get nervous really quickly. So what I do is, if I want to go into an interview, I would kind of prepare my questions, know what my points are, but knowing your point would not go as easy if you don't practice. So go in front of a mirror and keep practicing and keep talking so that it comes naturally, I think.
Yeah, I agree with Miss Balqis. I think we have to combine the internal preparation, I mean the content from yourself, and then how you learn about the culture, and at the same time you have to make it a habit to practice it.
Correct. Does it matter if they know what they write? Because I think some, like in my experience, when it comes to interviews, sometimes when they come unprepared, they don't know what they wrote in resume, it always turn out to be a disaster.
Yeah.
It does play an important role, right? I think you should be a master of your resume. Know what you write.
Yes.
Yeah. So Izzati, what do you think is a major turn off that viewers or candidates should avoid during interview?
If I want to summarize it, it's about wrong attitude. Because usually when an interviewer invite you into the interview session, actually they want to see about your soft skills.
Sure.
So wrong attitude, the major turn off, I would say lying and make up stories.
Oh, that's true.
Because most of the hiring manager and HR, they love honest answer from honest person, I guess.
So if they don't know an answer to a question, they should just say, I'm not sure, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I think being honest is much better than being caught lying.
Yes, exactly.
And then it's also important to kind of just be yourself. You know,
Yes,
because we want to
exactly.
have conversations. We want to see if you are having, you know, a good time, if you can spark a conversation, you know, if you fit into our culture. I think finding the vibe is also important. I don't think people realize how vibe plays an important role. You could be the smartest person, but if you don't fit into the culture, if they feel like, oh, there's something off, I think it might be a bit hard, and they might not choose you. So like, just be yourself. If you are bubbly, just be bubbly, you know. I think that's fine. If you are funny, it's okay to make jokes. Sometimes they just wanna, because sometimes when you are interviewing somebody, it's a long day. So sometimes they do enjoy having conversations with the candidate. So I think that's fine.
And then I want to add another point. Please don't be too arrogant when people try to correlate it into confidence. No, it's not confident. And then another one, don't feel too humble. Sometimes we want to hide our strength. It's okay lah.
You
Just
put
enough
yourself
lah.
down.
Just enough. No.
Yeah.
It's never enough for you to describe your strength and skills, and you relate to what the company needs.
So sell yourself, people.
Yes.
So we're going to continue with this conversation after the break. Hello everyone, welcome back to H Capital with me, Balqis and Izzati. So we are discussing on how to charm your way into a new job. So I want to ask Izzati, what is the worst job interview that you have had previously?
So far, I don't have any worse or maybe bad experience. At the early stage of my job search in the past, I guess I've been to stick to the script because previously, especially when you are fresh graduate, so you really just follow step by step by Google, so you don't know how to fine tune it so that it will be better skills during interviews. So I guess when we stick with the script, actually we will be more awkward, and then sometimes it can lead to a blank out.
That's true.
So I think like we said just now, be yourself, and then you have to be prepared with the script, but don't stick with it too much.
Well, for me, like the worst interview that I had, it's not the worst, but it was cringy on my part because I was already accepted for a position, and I got another interview. But I think my heart was set on the first position. So for the second one, I wasn't prepared. So I knew I was sabotaging myself. But I came anyway. I went there. I think but then halfway when they were talking to me, asking me questions, I was zoning out during the interview, so I didn't answer. I was like, what? And then before I leave the place, I forgot my bag. So I had to kind of knock back in and say, excuse me, sorry, I forgot my bag. So it was really bad because I was not prepared. So the key word is be prepared, try not to get too flustered, and just be yourself, and prepare, I think. And your heart has to be in it, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Your heart
I
has
agree
to be
with
in
that.
it. Yeah.
I agree with that.
So I want to ask you if you think that following up with human resource, is it important after you submit resume or even after the interview session? Do you think it's important?
Personally, I do think it's necessary because for us to, I think first because of visibility purpose, and then it's like the way we show the interest to the company.
Yeah.
So I think we have to know how to follow up, when to follow up, and when to stop hoping.
I mean, don't stop, guys. Don't
stop. Stop hoping.
So for me, like in terms of HR point of view, I feel like when you submit a resume, I don't think it's necessary for everyone to call because usually we will be a bit busy. But then it will be good. Sometimes we do kind of like, if we receive about 100 applications, right? We might miss out on your email. So sometimes it's good to kind of email, hi, I've submitted this. But the key word is to be as polite as possible, and not too pushy.
Yes, agree.
Yeah, so that's kind of
with
important. But in terms of after the interview, I think it's kind of good to kind of like touch base and say if my application is successful, or if not, even if it's unsuccessful, I think it'll be good to just say, thanks for the chance to be interviewed. Do let me know if you have any comments or suggestions on how I can improve myself. So when you kind of make that effort, we will kind of take note, this person is, eager to learn. So we see that you are trying your best to kind of improve yourself. So that's always a good tip.
Yeah. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Always be polite, but not
too pushy.
Yeah.
True. Okay, so for example, if I'm applying for a job and I'm successful, we usually have like probationary period, right? So what would you suggest? What strategies that we can do to kind of assimilate better and like in order to secure the position? Because once you are accepted, doesn't mean that you're gonna be, accepted straight away. You have to go through the probationary period. What would you suggest?
Okay. First of all, I would like to emphasize and remind the viewers. First, we have to lower down a bit your ego because usually when this is not something new, because mostly, or maybe this is not something that we notice, something that we didn't notice.
Think about,
So, put down your ego and then be more open-minded and then ready to learn new things. That is first. Second, take some time to learn about the culture of the company, because usually there's a lot of issue that from the fresh graduate perspective, they said they cannot adapt and so on. I cannot pinpoint with the company itself only, or maybe the graduates.
I guess it takes two to
yeah,
tango.
yeah. I think
sometimes
different
it's just,
case, but I guess we try to start with what we can control. Just like we learn about the culture. Oh, this is the culture here is something different. So you have to be more open-minded to accept that. Then it will be easier for you to mingle with the colleague and also seek the mentorship with the boss.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like to have a mentor to kind of guide you through the process. I think it's also important to kind of have plan what you're going to do within the first 1 month, 3 months, and then so on. So you know you are kind of going to meet the goals, like what is expected out of you. So kind of communicate with your supervisor what is expected from me, what you need me to do within the first month, the first 3 months. So you both kind of agree in terms of that. I think that's a good plan.
I agree with that point. During the learning process, you also can take a very transparent discussion with the boss and then ask what is the job scope, what do you expect with me hired here, so something like that.
That's true. All right, so right now, obviously, we are in COVID-19 pandemic. Some companies, they have to opt for virtual interview. Do you feel like it's an advantage or a disadvantage to the candidate?
I guess it depends.
Okay.
It is advantageous if you compare it from the pre-pandemic experience, because usually when it is physical interview, so it is time consuming, so we have to take some time, and then the logistic issue, transport. So there's a lot of issue in the past. Actually, we have to let it go, not because not necessarily because the graduate is not interested in that position. It's just that sometimes it's not the right time. It takes time.
So you have to kind of put aside a day or to attend the interview, so rather than like if it's virtual, it's at your own pace or your own time. Probably you can negotiate with the time, and then like you're in your house or wherever that you are comfortable in, so you're not anxious when you go to a new place. You're always anxious, like, what am I doing? You're meeting new people, there's a lot of interaction there, so it might spike up your anxiety. But I think in terms of when it comes to virtual, you're at your own pace, so that's kind of good.
And then one more thing, you also can use the time, the extra time to learn more, to prepare more, and so on. So that's for the advantage, but we also cannot miss out the disadvantage, especially the technical issue.
True. Poor connection is always bad. We can always tell when you read from like a paper, we know. So I guess the recommendation is to have backup plan. True.
So I think backup gadget, just to some
plan your interview correctly.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, Izzati, for joining us today. I'm very happy to have this conversation with you. I hope you guys enjoy the session, and I hope to see you again next week. Take care. So as a HR personnel, when someone would ask me, how do I get a job, So my key take on this is definitely to know your resume, be the master of your resume, make sure there's no errors, know it from A to Z, so that when interviewees ask you any questions about it, you would know from the get-go what you're going to answer. Practice often before you get into your interview, because that would make a difference. We could tell when you are nervous, and we could tell when you're unprepared, so always practice. And I think what people always tend to forget is to be themselves. Sometimes it's not about getting the smartest person in the room. You want to be able to fit in the culture. So if I have somebody who is smart, but he is awkward and he doesn't know, we could say that he's not going to blend in with the culture. We might not get him, compared to somebody who is bubbly, someone who fits the culture better, but maybe not as smart as the first person. So sometimes it's not about if you're the smartest person in the room. Sometimes it's about how you can blend in and work well with your company. So I hope you kind of, take note on how to improve your interviews, and I wish you the best of luck in finding a new job. Let me know if you have any other tips for your friends if you have done it before, and I'll see you again next week.